Hi, I'm Anita Helms with the Texas County Master Gardeners. I was in the greenhouse today planting onion seeds for spring and thought it might be a good time to talk about what types of onions you need to plant. People want to know what type of onion should they plant. Um, the first thing you need to know is that there are three basic types of onions. There are long day onions, short day onions, and intermediate day onions. A long day onion needs 12 to 14 hours to mature and make a nice bulb. A short day onion only needs 10 hours, but a short day onion also needs more days to produce. So normally short day onions are planted in the fall and overwintered and then harvested in the early summer, late spring. The short day onions are planted in the southern latitudes where they have milder winters and things can overwinter like that. The long day onions need longer days, the 12 to 14-hour days, but they can do that in a shorter amount of days. So they can be planted in the spring and harvested in the late summer and produce well. But each variety is specific to where it needs to grow. There are some varieties that are excellent for the kind of intermediate in the middle latitudes. And that's right where we are. We're in the middle latitudes. The panhandle is between latitude 36 and 37 along the Texas-Oklahoma border state line, and then the Kansas line is 37. The long day onions are usually between 38, 40, and up to 50 and 60. And the short day onions produce better about 35 south. Since we're kind of right in the middle, we could squeak in a few varieties that would be north or south, but let's just make it simple and only do the intermediate varieties. That's what we're going to talk about today. Our intermediate varieties that are always reliable for us here in the Panhandle are Candy, which is a nice yellow onion. The white onion is Sierra Blanca. It is not that good for storage, but makes a really nice big bulb. And then we have Cabernet and Monastrell that are red onions that do well in our area, and they store very well. These are some onions that we planted in our garden last year. This is January 14th, and we still have red onions. A few of them are starting to sprout, but as you can see, they do keep very well. If you want to plant your own seeds, you'll need to protect them, of course. If you have a sunroom or a greenhouse, the seeds come usually by the thousand. Sometimes you can buy them pelleted, so you can space them out in plugs if you want to have them that way. We just direct sow those right on top of the soil. These usually have between 40 and 50 seeds in a cell. The seeds take usually several weeks to sprout, keeping them around 50, 60 degrees at night, and of course warmer in the daytime. Here in the greenhouse with the sun shining, it warms up nice. And then once the seeds are on the soil, cover them lightly with soil, but you have to make sure that all the seeds are actually covered. When they start to sprout, they sort of push up, and as you water, it sort of takes some of the soil away and packs it down. So you kind of have to check after a few days and make sure that they're still under the soil, and press it down, and then water them in and give them a few weeks, and you should start to see little sprouts come up. After the weather warms up a little bit, it's still cold out, we can set the flats outside to harden off and get ready to put in the garden, usually around the end of March or the 1st of April. They can take quite a bit of cold and frost, so we don't have to worry about them freezing. If you're going to start your own seeds, they should be started about 8 weeks before the last frost or hard freeze date. That's what they suggest. Planting the seed directly in the garden, you would want to wait till after the 1st of April, or maybe the 15th of April, when the soil gets a little bit warmer, and it will be kind of slow for them to come up. If you do this, you don't have quite the growing season, because you're having to start from babies where they don't have the 8 or 10 or 12 weeks of prep time in the greenhouse to get ready to go out. So you may not get as big of a bulb if you plant from seed directly in the garden. It's really probably better to start with plants. If you do want to plant seeds, green onions work wonderfully. You can plant green onions in the garden all summer long, starting in the spring and April, in succession plant those, and even into late summer, and have green onions into the fall time. People ask about sets, the little dry onion bulbs that you can get sometimes in the spring. You get a nice quick top and onion from that, but usually you won't get the onions to bulb. For one thing, they don't label them. We don't know if they're long day or short day. I kind of think most of them are short day onions that have started the fall before, and then they've gone dormant, and then they are ready to plant out in the spring. So that's probably why they don't bulb up here like they should. Hopefully, this helps clear up some of the confusion with onions and give you some ideas about starting your garden in the spring. And thank you for watching.